Hello and welcome to Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger. I'm Dana Brooks, I'm a trial lawyer, and I'm joined with my law partner, Jimmy Fasig.
I am so excited about today. We've got a couple of good guests lined up.
We do. We've got some good Come Back Stronger stories, and then we've got, importantly, some resources for people. Jimmy, tell everybody a little bit about what we do and why we're into this and the Come Back Stronger stories, why we're passionate about this.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we're trial lawyers. And as trial lawyers, we help people that have been injured come back from their injury and hopefully come back a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And so we're real passionate about that. And for example, the show today, we've got one person that is going to talk about the resources that are available for people to create their own comeback stories.
That happens with us because we have these clients who'll come to us and maybe they've been injured in a car accident, trucking accident, motorcycle. It could be medical malpractice. It could be a number of things. And you know, as lawyers, of course, we want to help them navigate the very difficult legal issues that they have to deal with. But so many times, that's not the end of it for our clients. So many times they need more, and sometimes it's inspiration, like we're going to get today from Manny. He's an incredible young man, and when you learn about his story and what he's overcome, and the mindset that he had to get there. And then you also, like you talked about, this next person that we're going to hear about after Manny, and that is Bill from Legal Services, I'm sorry, from Lutheran Social Services.
Yes.
And that's the kind of person who says, you know, when you're down and out, you know, it's not just up to you. Look up, look around, you know, put up a hand, somebody's going to pull you, and they're going to help you get back to where you need.
There are resources out there.
Yeah, there are. So I'm excited about hearing from them. I'm excited about their stories because that's the one common thing that we keep seeing among all these people, all of our clients, all the people that we meet in our journeys. Like you're big into the influencers. What turns you on about them, the common things you're seeing among all these people?
Well, because what we're looking for, I'm going out and I'm meeting influencers throughout the Jacksonville area, and it's fun. But the common theme that you see in these comeback stories, which is what I'm looking for, is the element of people need to know that there are resources out there to help them create their own comeback story. And every comeback story has a couple common elements. One is that the pain that someone goes through leads to purpose, and the purpose leads to success. Pain leads to purpose, purpose leads to success, and that creates a great comeback story.
And we'll get into this at some point on the show, but I want people to know your story. You've got a very interesting story. I've got a little bit of a story myself, but I think the thing that differentiates the people who kind of stay down when the world, you know, kicks them are the people and the ones who just unpack and live there. I think a lot of it's in their head. A lot of it is thinking that this has bested me, this has defeated me, or I'm not good enough, I'm not like everybody else. You know, when I look at these people and I see how they've come back, I don't have that in me. So a lot of it is just kind of reorienting your thinking about yourself. Your mindset.
A lot of it is about a mindset.
But then the second part is the help.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Not being too proud to ask for help, not being too proud to accept that you need the help, because not one of us got where we are without people helping us. In our firm, you know, we have these great, fantastic law partners. We're very blessed to have them.
We really are.
Carrie Roan, she is, we call her Sporty Spice. Because she will rappel down a canyon, she will do whatever. You're going to see her today, and you're going to see Kimmy Hogan, and Kimmy is just the most compassionate. She will do anything she has to do to get her clients where they need to be. And I'm just so excited to be able to bring this program and bring them to you today. So
let's have a look.
Let's have a look, and we'll be looking at the interviews coming up shortly.
We're giving you a game plan on how you can take back control of your life to not just get back to where you were before you started, but also to come back stronger. This is a tragedy in your life, it's an accident, or it's a loss that you never expected to suffer. But every tragedy carries with it the seed of an equal opportunity. And so our job is to guide our clients to take advantage of that opportunity. And that is the most fulfilling thing that I do in my job. When I give my client that settlement check at the end of the day, if they can walk out of there feeling like they are the hero of their own story and they're proud of themselves because they did what I asked them to do, they took my guidance and they ended up with seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and actually reaching that light, that's what it's all about.
All right, and we're back. We want to talk about this first segment. We've got Bill coming from Lutheran Social Services. What makes you like him and want to get this message out there to the people?
Well, the big thing about Bill is he's passionate about helping people that are going through a challenging time. And they provide all sorts of services that you're going to hear about. But what I like about it is I want people to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what challenges you're facing, no matter what difficulties, whether it be homelessness or an injury, there are people out there that are willing to help. There are resources out there that you can actually tap into, that people want to be able to help you. So that's why I love this next segment. It's Bill's. You're going to like Bill.
Yeah, and he's got more to offer than you think. This will surprise you. Let's take a look.
Tell me about Lutheran Social Services.
Sure. Well, Lutheran has been around for 41 years, serving the community, filling in the gaps where socially we're needed. We do everything from food pantry services to HIV services, refugee services. We have a jobs and career path program and a Money Minders program that actually does rep pay services for our people that aren't able to pay their bills and everything that are mandated by the Social Security
Administration, yeah.
Yes.
Gosh, y'all are busy.
Yes, we are.
Well, I want to ask you a little bit about the programs, but first, tell
Okay.
me how you got there. How'd you get to Lutheran Social Services?
I've been there 11 years. I actually started out as a volunteer 11 years ago, and then I turned around and they offered me a job. And so I became the supervisor over our HIV services.
Okay.
And then I took over our refugee services. Then the latest position before this was the director of development. So
You must have been a good volunteer.
exactly, yes.
Oh, wow.
It's been a blessing.
Yes. And so I imagine that y'all are very busy during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, we've had to get very creative with our services, just with, we used to have a consumer choice pantry where people got to actually pick up and choose their items, if they were on dietary restrictions or something. So now we've had to revert back to a pantry model where we just take the food, we pack it up, and we take it out to their cars. Unfortunately, there's not a selection because of COVID and keeping both our clients and our staff safe. So
You just got to kind of roll with the changes, right?
exactly, yes.
So I hear that y'all have a program called Steps to Success.
Correct.
What
yes.
is that?
So it's a partnership actually with LIS, United Way, Family Foundations, and the Newtown Success Zone. It's in the Edward Waters College region. It's in a part of town that really needs revitalization, and it's a food desert also. So we're looking at different ways that we can support the community over there, but we have a financial opportunity center over there that people can come in and actually. What we do is they actually, instead of just doing a resume like you normally would get, you get something that's tailored where they sit down and they ask you questions about, what are your desires? What would you like to see yourself doing? And then sort of guiding them along that path. But then once they decide what path that they're going down, that we sit down and we coach them. And then also we do mock interviews with people in that field, so they're not just going out there, just not having the knowledge or the interviewing skills for that position. So really getting them up to speed. But the second half of that program is the financial piece, and that's something where we look at your assets coming in. And a lot of people in life have not had that opportunity, either their parents or their parents did not have the financial stability, or they didn't know how to save or for retirement, or we get a lot of people that just didn't save enough for retirement. So they come back, and what we do is with the career and financial coaching, we help and we look at your assets. And then we pull your credit score. It's a soft pull. But what we do is, and then we look in 6 months from now and we see how your assets and credit score have grown, and that's the success indicator of whether we've done our job or not, to really help you understand saving for retirement or a home or a car, whatever it is that it's your desire that you want to.
So it sounds like with Steps to Success, someone can come in with a dream and y'all give them the path and the tools to go succeed with that dream. And then you can also help them learn how to handle that money better to reach financial goals.
Very true. I mean, we have a micro enterprise opportunity for people that are looking to start small businesses, whether it be selling jam at your local, flea market over the weekend or at a arts and festival.
Yeah.
You're able to do a micro business that we help you with. So there's lots of possibilities there other than just career coaching. We can help you grow a business from ground up. So again, if you have an idea and we vet it and help you through it, we'll give you the tools to actually grow that business into a successful business. So
that's awesome.
It's an incredible program.
Yep, sounds like you really do. You come with your dream, and then Lutheran Social Services can put you on your path.
Exactly.
That's awesome. If folks want to come see y'all at Lutheran Social Services, how do they find you?
They can come to 4615 Phillips Highway in Jacksonville, Florida, which is 32207. Which is our main building. We're open for the food services from 10 to 12, Monday through Friday.
5 days a week.
5 days a week. All we do is we come out to your car. You tell us how many people are in your family and your zip code, and we're going to put groceries. You just open up the car. It's like coming to the grocery store. And we put the groceries in your car, and you just drive away. Again, it's a very easy process. There's no shame. It's a very again, it's like going to your grocery store. It's a neat process. So we're blessed to do that.
Well, y'all are doing great work. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, thanks, Kimmy. That's fantastic information. That's Kimmy Hogan, one of our law partners. When we come back, we're going to hear from Carrie Roan, one of our other law partners, and she's going to talk to a fascinating young man, Manny. And when you hear his story and what he's overcome, what he's been through, and then you hear about the incredible result, you're not going to want to miss this. Stay around. When you come into my firm, you see a lot of faces that look like yours. You see a lot of people that had the same problem before they got to work. A lot of people who left kids with mismatched shoes and a lunch bag, you screaming, just because you had an appointment you had to make. We get you. We get you.
You have to go to a lawyer that will understand your story as a woman. Because women have different stories than men do, and that's just a fact of life. And if you're a woman that's been injured, either through a slip and fall or a trip and fall in an auto accident, you have to go to a lawyer that's going to understand what your daily existence was like before, what it's like now, what the injury means to your entire family, and what you need to do to come back and be where you were before, and even come back and be stronger than where you were before. They just need to have the courage to pick up the phone, because we are going to take the burden of this accident or you being hurt off of your shoulders. We're going to put it on our shoulders, so you don't have to worry about it. Exactly. You can worry about everything else in your life, but not this accident. We're going to worry about that for you.
And we are back. Jimmy, let's talk about this next segment coming up. We've got Manny, and Manny is fascinating. You've watched the segment, I know, and you've talked to Carrie about this fascinating man. Tell me what you think about this story.
Well, what I love most about the story is that Manny has a passion. Yeah. And it's whenever you talk about success or talk about achieving something awesome or overcoming a major obstacle, having a passion and having that purpose behind you, that is everything. So I can't wait to
see. It's almost like passion informs your goal setting, because you're very big. You have your Come Back Stronger group, a Facing Brooks Come Back Stronger group, and you do your Zoom meeting once a week, and you talk about passion and purpose. But when those things become an action plan, that's what separates the people who overcome adversity and the people who don't, is whenever you take that passion and you piece it into little goals, and then you like to talk about to-do lists and that sort of thing. But this young man, when you hear his story, it makes you go, you know what, I can do this too. So you all take a listen. You're going to like this.
All right, I'm so excited to meet you. Why don't you just start by saying your name? Manny Velasquez.
All right, and you came to UNF and you were an athlete at UNF, and then you went through a pretty bad, tragic experience. But I want to start by learning who you were before and how you came to be an athlete at UNF.
Sure. So originally from Coral Springs, Florida, went to school in the Fort Lauderdale area. Looking at colleges, I was a track runner and cross-country runner at my high school. Did the whole college recruiting thing, went to a bunch of schools throughout Florida and Alabama, and decided to come to Jacksonville at UNF. They offered me a scholarship, and I just fell in love with the area immediately.
Cool. So you must have had to put a ton of work into your athleticism and your fitness and your training and everything. What was that like? What kind of dedication did you have to being an athlete, to getting a scholarship to UNF?
I definitely had a very focused work ethic. For me, it was run before school sometimes, school, hit the track or hit the cross-country course, train, do your homework, go to bed 5 days a week. Saturdays was do a long run and relax.
Almost like a job.
It was almost like a job. It was laser focused. Just want to keep up with schoolwork, and of course I was striving to be the best in the state at the time. So it was definitely a dedication that any good person, any good runner especially, needs to have, just because running is it's a sport based on time.
It's demanding.
It's demanding.
Yeah. What did you want to do with it? What was your overall goal with running?
So I was originally a soccer player, and my dad said I wasn't in good shape because I was left wing. I was left wing going up and down the field. So he's like, you need to go on the track team, get in better shape. Went on the track team, ended up doing my first mile in 7th grade, around a 5:30, which was decent at the time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I ended up getting kind of good. I came in second in the county that year. So he's like, what do you want to do, soccer or track? And I was like, I guess I'll stick to this running thing. And it all just kind of went from there.
So then what happened? You were at UNF, and I think you were at a meet, right?
Yeah, I was at a meet in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And it was an indoor meet, so it was cold. It was February at the time. But I was doing an indoor race. I just finished the mile.
And then you got in a pretty bad accident, right? You got hit by a truck?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So started my event. I was in the last heat of the event. Did my race, finished in second place with a 4:18 mile.
Wow.
Which was close to my PR.
That's amazing.
At the time. Yeah, I was in really good shape. On my way out of the indoor stadium, everyone ran on the road, pretty much an out and back to cool down. So as I was going out, did my cool down. I was alone for this race. None of my teammates were running it. So I was running it by myself in and back. On the way back, I was going straight down the road. There was a turn to right, a right turn ahead of me. There was a truck that came in front of me. I was on the right side of the road, and the truck turned in really fast, and I just missed it. I kind of pushed myself off the truck a little bit. What I didn't notice, and the truck driver kind of wasn't careful about, was that there was a tractor trailer connected to the back of the truck.
Oh, God.
So the tractor trailer clipped me and hit me underneath the truck, and I had to maneuver myself under the truck. My head was under the left rear tire.
Oh, my God.
So as I moved my left head out from under the tire, the two wheels, the front and left, the left front and left rear of the tractor trailer went over both of my legs.
Oh, God. That's
so
terrible.
Immediately called for help.
Yeah.
Within minutes, my coaches and teammates were there, and the ambulance came about 20 minutes after.
And then I think you broke your pelvis.
I had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I broke my pelvis. My spleen was torn. I broke my collarbone. I had a lot of rashes all over my body. I broke 3 parts of my back.
Wow.
And my right knee was pretty much completely destroyed.
Manny, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot. Looking back, it's scary to think about.
How long was your recovery time?
I was in the hospital for a good month, hospital and rehab. I had surgeries up until about 1.5 years out, much of those on my right knee. Immediately, there was a lot of surgeries done. They were able to save my spleen, which is a big, big deal.
Yeah.
They thought they would have to take it out of there, but they were able to stitch it up.
That's good.
Because I had a lot of internal bleeding going on. So
Jesus.
they were able to help me out on the day of the accident a lot. And huge shout out to Winston-Salem. They have one of the best hospitals there.
That's awesome.
At Wake Forest Baptist.
That's awesome. I know you had to dig deep to figure out how you were going to come back from this tragedy. What did you tell yourself when you were recovering? Like, how did you mentally and emotionally get to the point where you were coming back?
Being a runner helped a lot. Physically, we go through a lot of pain, and our brain is processed to push through anything physical and mental, really. What I wasn't ready for was the emotional part of it. Running was, you can ask any runner, it's a part of your life. You know, I was running at the time 70, 80 plus miles a week.
Wow.
So it was a huge part of my life that was taken away at the moment, you know, the college part at least. And I guess the emotional side, what helped most was the people around me, my coach, my teammates, my awesome girlfriend. She helped me out through some of the toughest parts, and she kind of has seen the entire thing from before my accident to now.
So it was a good support system that you had.
It was an amazing support system.
What would you tell somebody else who is in the situation where they've just experienced the tragedy, as far as what they need to tell themselves in their mind to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
It's baby steps. Don't think a year from now. I know when I was in the hospital, it was literally hour by hour. I wasn't thinking about the next week. I was thinking, okay, whether I was in pain, you know, how do I get through this time? The first 2 days, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat for a week, actually. They had to put me on the eating tube. And it was just one of the longest weeks of my life. Once the pain was easier, it was, okay, let's take this day by day. Once about 4 or 5 months out, it was, okay, let's take this week by week. And then during rehab, you see yourself slowly getting stronger. The ACL was definitely one of the most painful things I had to go through because it was stiff. One of the things I had to do was try to bend my knee, and I had a rotation device on my knee, and I had to get it to a certain degree. And the more you bend it, the more it hurt. So every day I would get 1 degree a little bit closer, 1 degree more. So it's baby steps. Don't think about your life a year after something like that happens. Take it day by day. That's the most you can do for yourself physically and really important emotionally.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's definitely impacted me in a very positive way, and I hope it helps other people to hear what you had to say. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Carrie.
Thank you.
Baby steps. Thanks, Carrie. We'll be back to wrap up right after this. Their life has been changed, and this is for real. And so many times it could be a very intimate part of a man's life. You know, something that they don't even want anyone to know they're experiencing, much less do they want to share how it's affecting them. It even feels worse when you don't stand up for yourself. Because you know you can't stand up for yourself among these lawyers and these insurance companies because it's not your area. You don't know. So a lot of times, instead of seeking help, especially maybe from a woman, they just take it, and then that eats on you. You know, people don't lead with their weaknesses, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, and it doesn't mean they don't deserve fair compensation for them whenever those weaknesses and those injuries are caused by somebody else just not paying attention and being careless. That is not your responsibility. It is the careless person's responsibility. And making that person honor their word and honor their commitment to you, that's not weakness at all. That is strength. That is doing the right thing for yourself and for your family, so you can walk with a straight back, and your kids can look up to you and say, that's my daddy, he takes care of us. And welcome back. Jimmy, that was a phenomenal story about Manny, but we didn't hear the ending.
We didn't hear the punchline.
Tell us about it.
And I get to say the punchline. So what Manny did, and he did this relatively recently, is he set a personal goal, despite having had a broken back, a broken pelvis, and a destroyed knee and multiple surgeries. He set a personal goal of running a full marathon in less than 4 hours.
A full marathon.
And he just completed that. And so now he's back doing what he loves to do.
Yeah.
So several takeaways from that.
Yeah.
That I think it goes with almost every comeback story. Is you've got I love the part where he talked about the training that he has with running track and pushing through the pain.
Yeah.
Because that's what you, and almost every comeback story, that's what you're going to have because everybody deals with setbacks and failures and challenges. If there anyone that ever accomplished something great, they're going to have to deal with that, and they're going to have to learn to push through the pain. But then the second part that I think that you mentioned before was what? Baby steps.
The planning, the baby steps, into pacing something down into measurable goals, and that you can check them off the list. There's a lot of power and a lot of encouragement that comes from being able to check something off that list. Anybody who walks around with to-do list, you know, whether it's a shopping list, whether it's stuff you got to do, it's a calendar, whatever, just the power of checking off. You're like, oh, one less thing. I've accomplished something today. So that's a great thing. But you know what I liked about it? He said, you know, as a runner, I've always been prepared for the pain part of it. The physical toll it takes on my body. But he said, I wasn't prepared for the psychological
the emotional
part of it. The emotional part. So here he is, you know, in peak physical form. He's meeting all these goals. He's doing great. He suffers this horrible, you know, physical injury, like so many of our clients do. And you think, this is it. Hang up, no more for me. All those dreams I had, they're gone. But he doesn't do that. And not only does he come back and reach the physical goals, but he's gained a new strength from this adversity, and that is he's got the psychological toughness.
That's exactly.
That goes with the physical. What do you
That's
think?
what this show is all about.
Love it.
Is I want people to know that all the pain that we've ever suffered, the challenges, the setbacks, the failures, those are all what bring us to become stronger and wiser people so that we can start again with more strength and more wisdom than we ever had before.
You know, Jimmy has a Come Back Stronger group, Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger group. It's a Facebook group. We would encourage anybody who's interested in these sorts of stories to become a member. But, you know, you talk about those sorts of things. You talk about, you know, like tearing down a muscle. You know, when we go work out and we do any kind of physical activity, we're tearing down a muscle so it can be built back, and it comes back back stronger than it was before.
I love that analogy.
You know, it's a perfect analogy because it could be, you know, the brain, the muscle of the brain could be the muscles in your body. It could be, you know, a metaphor for a lot of things. But tell me kind of what you do in this group. What's the purpose of the group? What are you trying to turn people on about?
Well, it's just another resource. It's a resource for people to go to for inspiration and for knowledge on how to set goals, how to overcome obstacles, how to deal with setbacks and failures. And I'm really passionate. This is my passion.
It is.
That's actually why we ended up starting this show, is because the whole idea is that the challenges we go through make us who we are today so that we can become even better.
And I hope you all will let us know if you have a Come Back Stronger story and you'd like to be included. Let us know. Thanks for watching. I like that people who don't have the money to pay for lawyers, they can come to a contingency fee lawyer, someone like us who only gets paid when we recover for them, and they can go toe-to-toe with giants.
You are actually just coming to us, not paying us anything, and if we're successful in getting you money, we get paid. And the more money we get for you, the more money we get. So our interests are totally aligned.
And it's a wonderful system, because otherwise, how many people can afford to go hire a lawyer by the hour just so they can have their day in court? That would be almost no one. That would mean justice is only available in America to rich people otherwise. But the contingency fee agreement allows everybody to go in on equal footing. It levels the playing field. But to me, it's saying we're equal, okay? Just because you have all those resources behind you doesn't mean I have to take whatever you give me. I've got a lawyer that I can afford who can stand up to you on the same playing field, equal ground in front of a judge, and I will get treated the same way those big corporations will be treated.